I have not seen this. This is
Hey.
called a video called "Do All Feminists Think the Same?" from the extremely popular and influential channel Jubilee that has 1.75 million subscribers. So, here we go. As a feminist, I can tell you the answer is no. Because feminism is a large ideological category with many branches. So the answer is probably not going to surprise you. But I'm sure they managed to find just the worst people for this. No spoilers, chat.
And also,
I carry
so
myself
what would
through
I have?
society.
There we go.
Hey. And
womanhood.
Right, so for you, it is the ability to create life, and that's basically what makes you a woman.
Femininity and womanhood is so...
Okay. Oh, okay. We're literally 2 seconds into the video. Okay. All right. Okay.
than just, getting dressed up and putting on makeup.
Isn't she, I feel like she hosts one of the, I don't know, one of the lesser known, PragerU shows? She's a show host on one of those? She's a right-wing plant?
And just the way I feel, it's who I am on a biological level.
Jubilee, well known for being leftist. Yeah, she wearing the
Men
hospital
can be
scrubs.
feminist. 3, 2, 1, go.
Only
I'm
someone
wearing a hoodie.
agree.
It says men can be feminists too. I feel like I have to be over here.
I think most men that are feminists are usually either lazy, virtue signaling, just want to see tits, or accent.
Okay, yeah. I feel like anyone who is using the term virtue signaling unironically in a public setting is fucking conservative as shit.
It's to easy sex.
I think it depends on your definition of feminism. Modern day feminism, I would say yes. Traditional feminism, advocating for, traditional femininity and not.
Yeah, I don't see the alert non-binary superpowers. It's not on my end. It hasn't gone through. Also, I'm pretty sure traditional feminism advocated for women to be able to express themselves in non-traditional ways. I'm pretty sure, by the way, if she's going by traditional feminism, in the sense of what women were expected to do traditionally, while having the basic right to vote. Fun fact for you all. Did you know that women weren't allowed to wear pants until the 1960s? Yeah, she's a feminist in the sense that she thinks feminism should have been done after they got suffrage. God. Yeah, literally, if you're a feminist and you're wearing pants, I'm sorry, you're not a traditional feminist, okay?
Non-discrimination in the workplace. I think those things men can agree with.
I see what you're saying when you're
Discrimination, advocating for, traditional femininity and non-discrimination in the workplace. I think those.
Okay, so I want yeah, you should advocate for traditional femininity, and we have the vote now, so we shouldn't be discriminated against in the workplace, but other than that, that's basically all feminism is. Yeah, feminism is when you wear pants. Feminism is when you can wear your pants to the office and not get arrested by the police.
Those things men can agree with.
I see what you're saying when you're like,
Feminism is when you can wear capris and people don't bitch and moan about how your ankles are seducing them.
there's this performative feminism that a lot of guys do. So if a male feminist is like, oh, I only support like women and it's just only about that, but he's not even talking about how like feminism needs to support men.
Oh, God. Okay. Sorry, I just realized where this is heading, and I felt a cringe in the force, as if 1,750,000 voices all cried out at once and were silenced.
Or like trans people or whatever, then there is a performativeness to it.
White feminist voices are too loud. 3, 2, 1, go.
I somewhat agree, like that white feminist voices are too loud, but then I think that they become really good at using black women or black faces when they want to, you know, push their movement further.
I agree that it's probably not balanced, and I think it probably needs to be more equal. I guess the reason why I'm at somewhat disagree is just because I'm hesitant to say that anyone speaking up for their views is too loud.
I think that's fine, and I can definitely see what you're saying. I just hate like
Anyone speaking up for their views is... What if a Nazi was speaking up for their views? Would the Nazi be too loud? Question mark?
when some of these movements use black women when it's convenient for them.
There's not discussion about the Latinas immigrant, how they're get treated on the feminist movement. You know, it's always about either the pro-choice side or something else that it's more interesting to white.
When you think of feminism, you usually think of a white lady.
I don't think the immigration issue is one that is primarily about women, though. I think the immigration issue is about discriminating against black and brown people and also xenophobia. Is this word salad day? I guess so.
And I think that's still perpetuated, even though there'd be like a lot of black women behind the scenes doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and often are in a lot of civil rights movements. White women have certain rights they need through feminism as other people, but they're just always taken more seriously by everyone.
I'll read off a list of public figures and you'll go to your left if you believe the person to be a feminist, or the right if you don't think they're a feminist. Kim
dear.
Kardashian.
I wouldn't say that she isn't a feminist. I don't think that's her number one thing.
She went from doing her show and the whole like sex scandal thing to like, you know, now she's working in law and civil rights.
I mean, I guess, like, I don't know enough about what Kim Kardashian is doing to say whether or not she's a feminist. I guess maybe, probably a little bit from the things I know about. I guess I'd be like where this guy is.
Since she's done the whole family thing. Ultimately, I think that Kim Kardashian is a woman that has like done what she's wanted to do.
Amy
She's on her
Barrett.
third divorce. She's a feminist. Yeah, but she's also dating Pete Davidson, and you know, I gotta dock a lot of points for that one. Okay, I gotta dock a lot of points. Her taste in men is absolutely terrible. So whatever she gets for the divorce is canceled out for the Pete Davidson. Okay, dude's not very funny, and he dresses weird, and he gives me bad vibes. You know, he looks like a guy who would put something in my drink. That's all I'm saying. All right. He looks like a guy who'd be way too far up in my DMs.
Amy Coney Barrett, in my opinion, is like the epitome of a
this spread is embarrassing. This spread is so embarrassing. Is Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett a feminist or not? Play what? I'm gonna watch the rest of it. We aren't stopping the video. I just wanted to take a second to be like, holy shit. Y'all think she's a feminist and you guys aren't sure? You know a woman can be not feminist, right? Like, Jesus. Yeah, being a woman equals being feminist.
Is like the epitome of a feminist. She's literally like a Supreme Court justice in like the highest court of the land, and she totally disproves the narrative.
This woman, by the way, this woman in the hospital scrubs is the epitome of like girl boss, okay? She's like, yeah, you just, if we have girl bosses, like feminism, we don't need it anymore. Feminism is when girl bosses, okay? Look, we just need more female drone pilots. We just need more women generals in the military. Feminism is when girl CEO, you know?
Narrative that women have to choose between having a career and a family.
I don't really agree with her a lot on a political stand.
She says so much dumb shit.
Justice in like the highest court of the land, and she totally disproves the narrative that women have to choose between having a career and a family.
I don't.
God, thanks, talking point from 1976.
Really agree with her a lot on her political stances, but I think more so as just being a role model for women to be on a level of the Supreme Court where it's primarily
being a role model is not what you're advocating for. Is she a feminist? Would refer to her advocacy, not to whether or not she can fulfill a idolized role by little kids. Chat, there's 10 more minutes of this. Yeah, this is Slap Face the movie, except we're the ones getting slapped.
dominated by men.
J.K. Rowling.
Hey, Becca.
3 years ago, I would have said yes, and there's still a lot of reasons I would. She was a single mom. She wrote all the books. She became a billionaire.
Oh god. Oh god. Sorry, I was too upset. Fuck, it's J.K. Rowling. All right, let's take a look at the spread. I don't think any of these people know what feminism is. I don't think I know what I don't think any of these people know what feminism is. Like, this guy's literally wearing like a shirt that's like men can be feminists too. And it's just like, yo, just because a woman struggled and then succeeded in a capitalist society doesn't mean she's a feminist, chat. I hope you all understand that, right? Like, facing adversity and overcoming it in capitalism doesn't, like, if you're black, doesn't automatically mean that you're not racist, right? Or facing adversity in society and overcoming it to succeed when you're a woman doesn't make you a feminist. Like, God. Feminism is when women do stuff. Yeah, I'm guessing all but one of this panel is like would not think that I'm girl bossing my way through life. Let me put it that way, okay?
3 years ago, I would have said yes, and there's still a lot of reasons I would. She was a single mom. She wrote all the books. She became a billionaire. The reason I would say kind of no now is her just kind of weird anti-trans zealotry she's gotten involved in that kind of undercuts a lot of her other feminist stuff.
I mean, I disagree that just for the fact that she expresses her own opinions, that now
Feminism is when you express your opinions. Feminism is when girl have opinion. God. Yeah, let's pay no attention to what the opinions are. Like, it's feminist to have an opinion and be a girl. That is feminist enough for these people. Like, okay, but what if that opinion is women should not wear shoes and get married and only make babies and not work in the workforce because their brains are too feeble to actually learn the complicated mathematics that men need to run the world, okay? What if that's a woman's opinion? Does that mean she's a feminist? Does that mean she's a feminist, chat? Because what I'm getting from this is that at least 3 of these people would say yes.
Now people like literally crucified her and really want to like put.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling, noted billionaire, has been literally crucified. This is breaking news, folks. I guess this is a weird way for us to find out, but I guess someone really nailed it. If you know what I'm saying. Hey, up top. The idea that these people think that, like, people being like, hey, you have a bad opinion about trans people is the same as being literally crucified and murdered is wild. But here's the real kicker, chat. What if the person doing the crucifying was a woman, you know? Then it might be feminist. It might be feminist. We need more female executioners, okay? We need more girl boss crucifixion. That, you thought it wasn't feminist to crucify J.K. Rowling? Now it is. Yes, queen, says J.K. Rowling as the second nail gets plunged in.
Put her under and undermine everything she has done,
It's just she has such a big...
Yeah. People critiquing J.K. Rowling have really undermined everything she's done. Fun fact, another breaking news story. The very first time someone criticized J.K. Rowling, she had to give up her billions of dollars. She's actually a pauper now. She has to go to the second-rate martini dinners. Okay, she can't go to the first-rate ones anymore because it's kind of embarrassing, and that's when you are truly anti-woman. Okay, that's pretty fucked up if you ask me.
Big platform that when you're talking like this very extreme stuff about a marginalized group, that's really the issue.
Why should women with a platform be forced to align with the mainstream narrative of what it means to be a woman and a feminine?
You could literally, and people in the past did, use that argument against the feminist movement. Why should a man be forced to recognize a woman's abilities when, it's just his honest opinion that women belong shoeless in the home so they can't run away when they're the subject of domestic abuse? Why should someone be forced to have an opinion that they don't actually hold? What if women actually have smaller brains? That's all I'm saying, okay? And if men are on the internet talking about how women have smaller brains and they can't, think all of the thinky thoughts that a man can, why should they be forced to have a different opinion about women? It's literally like an argument that was made during the time of suffrage, during the suffrage movement. Women are incapable of voting because they are too stupid to vote. Um, head meat, don't go. Um, and this woman is just reappropriating that argument against trans people because it's convenient for her own bigotry. Great. I love it. There's still fucking 10 minutes of this video left.
Like, why can't her own personal journey be enough?
It really comes down to not.
Look, what if hating some type of women is like just part of my personal journey? You know, like, you know, one like a normal white Karen might like just really hate trans people, and a different white Karen might just really hate black women. You know, why? You know, what if that's just part of her journey? You know, what if part of her journey is just hating like one type of woman? You know, is that so wrong? Is it so wrong if like someone's like, hey, I support all women, but not like those Asian women, okay? You know, is that really so wrong? Oh no. Oh no. You know, it's all part of your journey. Your hatred is part of your journey. And that means it's girl boss time. Hatred, girl boss. Girl boss, hatred. Feminism, hatred, girl boss.
Not that it's an opinion, it's that she's spreading a lot of dangerous misinformation.
But based on what, though? Because you don't agree with it?
No, it's scientific facts. Like, she's just talking about stuff that's incorrect. And her ideas about trans men have affected legislation that harms trans men getting the resources they need.
Trans women are women.
Okay.
3, 2.
This lady did her homework. She's prepared. She's ready to go full on bigot. You go, queen.
1, go.
You go, queen.
I think we're all just
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
positioned here based on our political beliefs, and as for how we see.
Look at her taking the bold, mostly disagree stance.
The LGBTQ.
I mean, I think it's also split between, all the men are on that side.
Oh, look at the little smirk. Look at the little fucking smirk on this smug ass bitch's face. Like, good golly. She's like, yeah, all of the men are over there because all those men want to be women. Look, men just want to be women. You know, like, they just want to dress up as women so they can predate on us, okay? Like, sweaty, I'm really pretty. All the trans women are trying to get with me, okay? I'm the target of them when they go to the bathroom. Look, if I am seated at a table in a restaurant that's too close to someone I think is a trans person, I will ask to be moved to a different part of the restaurant. But first, I will ask if they can be kicked out of the restaurant, because it just makes me uncomfortable, because I might be the victim of trans violence.
All the women are on this side. I know, being a woman, that there are certain things that we have to deal with as women that people who are not, biologically women don't have to deal with. I mean, we have to deal with having our periods and go through that really awkward stage. And
Trans women also get periods. It manifests different biologically, but trans women also have hormonal cycles.
We're 13, and people who are, trans women don't have to go through that.
Trans women live their
I'm sorry. Did trans women not have to ovulate at 13, but instead had to go through really complex medical procedures and therapy and a really comically large obstacle course of other issues?
their entire lives as women. They don't turn it off. It's not something that they're turning off, and then to come up to them and say, oh yeah, I see you doing this, but you're not a woman. You know, it's kind of
How
insulting.
do you live your life as a woman? Because every single time somebody
How do you live your life as a woman? I don't know. How do you live your life? What the fuck is so special about yours? What are you doing that only you can do every day that you get up? God, I'm sorry, chat. As a trans person, this is hard shit to like talk about sometimes, you know? You're tearing me apart, Lisa!
says that, they name the most stereotypical things. It's like putting on a dress, putting on makeup. It's biological. I was
So
born.
all
Dresses are biological. Chat. When I wear my dress, I fuse to it. Like an Evangelion suit, all right? It's like one of them bodysuits from that movie called Pacific Rim. It scans your brain and connects with your biology, okay? Men, physically incapable of wearing a dress. Oh, God. Summer Child, thank you for subscribing and for being part of this community for 11 months. You know, you've almost hit a year. Yeah, my biological Gundam dress. She's saying that trans people say being a woman is just cheap, superficial stuff, and they don't know what a real woman is. I mean, you can @ or DM me alt fact, but I might not be able to see it. I don't look at all of my DMs and notifications. What's this about Pacific Rim jobs? I want a Gundam suit. Yeah, chat. For those of you in the audience who are cisgender, okay? I don't have to say this for the transgender peeps, okay? I have to say it for the cisgenders out there, okay? No trans people are going around being like, tee-hee, I'm wearing a dress and panties and makeup, and that makes me a woman. No, sorry. It's the recognition that sex and gender are two different things, right? Gender being like, you know, the cultural component, if you want to simplify it down, okay? And sex being the biological component. And generally speaking, a lot of trans individuals, you know, shift their gender presentation along cultural lines, right? So to what is culturally expected of a different group of people, right? This would, by the way, also exist in a society with like 3, 4, 5, 6 genders. You know, you would still have transgender people. And then you have the sex component. And a lot of like transphobes like to say, oh, you can't change your biological sex. Well, yeah, you can. You know, kind of like how your body was at one point a baby doesn't mean you're always a baby. You know, the human body is surprisingly malleable and changes in response to different stimuli. For example, if you take HRT medication, hormone replacement therapy medication, that literally changes your biological makeup. It changes the hormonal production in your body, the hormonal presence in your body, and over time tells your body to do different biological things. Like, for example, grow breasts. And grow breasts, by the way, that are functional, okay? Trans women breasts are, by and large, just as functional as cis women's breasts. In fact, and there are studies on this, like some TERFs will say things like, men can't lactate. Actually, men can lactate. Like, biological men can lactate. That is a thing that men can biologically do. Okay? Trans women, if anything, can lactate even easier than men can. Because trans women tend to be, when they're on hormone replacement therapy, they tend to be in a biological position that makes it easier to lactate. Like, other than that, like, yeah, your biology continues to change on hormone replacement therapy. You know, like, even if you don't have bottom surgery, your genitals change. I don't know who wants to know this, or if it's TMI, but like, trans men, they start growing dicks. Trans women, their clits start turning into, clits, you know? Their dicks turn into clits. Like, yeah, how about that mouthfeel, though? Yeah, like, it's very... Trans men are poggers. This is very true, Koopa Shell. And we don't tell them that enough. Testosterone is a hell of a drug. Yeah. So, when we're talking about these issues, transphobes, and I've said this earlier, right? Stop at square one, right? Because stepping onto square two, acknowledging that sex and gender are two different things, would break their logic train. They cannot do it. They are the thought system and ideology that they hold is incompatible with moving on to step two. Yeah, it's literally the difference between male and female when it comes to pregnancy is like down to like hormone chemical washes in the womb. And you know what? Those same chemicals get put into trans people. It's pretty cool. But got 8 goddamn minutes left of this. Let's assume for the sake of argument that we stopped looking at this video. Nope, I committed myself to this. I'm already sad. And you all can give me money, though, and pay me for this existential agony. Gonna try on makeup for the first time next week. In case anyone is struggling with this, by the way, if you are a trans girl or a non-binary person and you don't know how to do makeup, I did post a makeup tutorial in our Discord. We actually have a section dedicated to makeup. And that tutorial, I've received very good feedback on it, that a lot of different people have found it very helpful. Check it out. It's in a PDF form, so it's not a video, because I know I personally had a lot of trouble with learning makeup from like Makeup YouTube. So if anyone would be interested in learning how to do their makeup in a way that isn't like garish or like gross, it's mostly like a way for people to have like a baseline foundation for where to start learning how to do makeup, you know? So check that out. I think it might be the first post in the makeup section of the Discord. These people want to say that trans women are too masculine when they prevent trans women from transitioning early. Like, seriously, wouldn't have these features if I transitioned younger. Well, that's the other thing, right? Sorry, I just inhaled my spit. Right? Like, if trans women were socially accepted, and if trans men were socially accepted and allowed to be on, like, you know, hormone blockers until they figured out their gender stuff, and then start on hormone replacement therapy around the age of like 15 or 16, like, yeah, we would be practically indistinguishable from cisgender people. Like, there are so many, like, especially coming up now, like the next generation or two of trans people who are coming up who like just look incredible. You know, they just look absolutely, I think the term is like fishy, like That's an older compliment that I've heard in the trans community. I don't know if it applies here. Well, yeah, and that's part of what they are afraid of, Catalina Gearbox, right? Skeleton, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. They're afraid of having to ask people what their gender is. They're afraid of living in a world where they cannot safely assume the genitals of someone that they are attracted to. That thought terrifies them, you know? Because ultimately, when you break it down, that's the fear. The fear is rooted in this homophobia, that they might be attracted to somebody with different genitals than they were expecting, you know? And that's really fucking sad, you know? It's really sad. Yeah, they think that trans people are trying to trick them. Exactly. Well, and Jack Disco, that's where the term trap comes from, you know? It's an older term, but it still checks out, you know? That is the overwhelming presumption of cisgender people, right? And it's reflected in the 4chans and the Reddits of the world with that term, trap. Trap, for those of you who are unaware, is a term for predominantly trans women, where, oh, you think they're a girl, but then they have a dick, and oh, you've been tricked. It's a trap. Ha ha ha. And that's it. Well, and yeah, these people still have an arbitrary measure of what being a woman is. You know, they'll pick something. Exactly, Mint Kuro. That's exactly it. They'll be like, real women have vaginas. Then you're like, well, but some trans women have vaginas. Okay, well, real women, they ovulate. And you're like, well, some trans women ovulate too. Real women, they have XX chromosomes. Well, there are some trans women who have XX chromosomes. Well, real women have like XX chromosomes, and then if you get a bit deeper, they have like a different type of like genotype, and so like it's very specific. Yeah, it is, for transphobes, for TERFs, it is an ever-moving goalpost, because they are, again, like the mental logistics required for them to move on to step 2 are just inoperable. They can't do it. They can't go through those steps. And I'm guessing that's what we're about to see in this video. Transphobes will go after cis women who they deem to be too masculine, end up hurting the cis women they insist they're protecting. Oh yeah, no, that's another thing that I haven't even like touched on yet, right? Which is that TERFs and the policies proposed by TERFs overwhelmingly harm cisgender women, okay? Cisgender women are a much larger percentage of the population and are much more likely to be clocked as transgender women. You know, cis women who just happen to have masculine features, cis women who happen to have different biological issues, for example, hormonal disorders, or, you know, maybe they're on antidepressants and it makes them gain weight and it makes them look mannish, you know? Overwhelmingly, these issues and these policies and these arguments don't just harm transgender women, they harm cisgender women. And they cloak it in the guise of essentially like, oh, we're just protecting real women, you know? Then why are your policies hurting real women? You know, oh, like, are you, these transphobes are willing to throw other women under the bus as long as they are able to act upon their bigotry.
I can't be a man.
So
I can't be a man no matter how much I try. I can't be you.
And it's just
that's because you're a woman, not a trans man. That's the core difference here.
chromosomes and that's it.
Are the differences just chromosomes, just having children? That's like so hurtful and discriminatory against women because
Why are you, oh my God. Oh my God. Why are you discriminating against women right now? Is she gonna be like, this is some, like, women are like spiritually destined to be women? Holy shit. Your soul, that is, I think, the final retreat for people like this, where, it's not your body that's a woman, it's your soul. Your soul is a woman, because you can't prove that. You can't prove that shit.
femininity and womanhood is so much more than just, getting dressed up and putting on makeup.
Yeah, I also put a crystal up in my woo-ha to, cleanse my chakras, man. A transgender woman wouldn't be able to do that.
And just the way I feel, it's...
Yeah, no, it's a retreat to the supernatural. I don't know if we have a term for that, but we really should. I feel like woo-ha is pretty good. The Gwyneth Paltrow appeal to spiritualism. No, not your hoo-ha, your woo-ha. It's just the way I feel.
Am on a biological level.
the god of the
for you.
The god of the goops. God damn it. Okay, we got two terms for it now. We've put our mental brains together. Who says you can't use a crystal as a dilator? Your woo-ha and your god, the god of the goops fallacy.
It is the ability to create life, and that's basically what makes you a woman.
What makes you a man? Or would you consider yourself a man? I probably should.
Yeah,
ask, 'cause
I was born a man. I behave as a man. I carry
So
myself
what would I
through
have to
society
do to
as
be
a man.
like you? I want to be a man now.
So we can both agree that our society has things that men generally do, things that women generally do, right? If you start to fall on one side of the spectrum versus the other side of the spectrum, then you're going to be treated as that gender.
I think it's a little obscure that we're looking at it as such a basic requirement, more so that, humans are much more evolved than any other animal, so why are we still using just the requirement of, well, if that person has a penis, he's a male, or that person has a vagina, they're a female?
I think you're a masculine woman or a feminine man. That doesn't make you that gender.
I feel like this man powering up his spirit bomb right now. He's mentally holding his hands up, Like he's like doing the Goku trick where, like, instead of like holding his hands up, he's just like keeping them down low so they don't look up and see the massive ball of energy about to hit them.
And to try to like deny just basic biological facts. We all learn this in high school. Like, let's stop.
We all learn this in high school, and that's where biology stops. Biology don't get more complicated than in high school. Definitely not.
Acting like it's something new and different now because it's like the hip thing to say.
I think there's like a lot of conflating of being female versus being a woman. Being female is chromosomal, it's what you're born as. Being a woman is a societal construct. They can align, like yours obviously all align. Like you pointed over here, you're like all the men over here. The first 30 years of my life, I was a woman. I transitioned. It's a disconnect with what you're born as and what you feel you should be.
So gender dysphoria?
Yes.
Okay, I can believe that 100%.
I can believe that. Okay, then move across the spectrum, bitch.
Could believe that, yeah.
If it was just like...
You know what, no. Here's my take on this. This bitch does not believe what was just said. She just doesn't want to be bigoted to somebody's face. She's retreating so she doesn't have to say you're not a man to this guy to his face. What a little punk ass coward.
Believe that, 100% could believe that, yeah.
If it was just like, I just wanted to be a masculine woman, then sure.
Yep. Fun fact for you. Masculine women exist. They're called butch lesbians. Okay? And some of them are cool. And some of them are cringe.
That's easy to do, but that didn't work. I'm not going to say I'm male. I wasn't born with XY. That'll never change. And no trans person will ever tell you they're biologically born that way, because if anyone knows anything about biology, it's trans people. That's why they have to get hormones and do all this other stuff.
Hey, garden variety cat lady.
It doesn't take away your womanhood if someone else is a different type of woman.
Am I watching cis people argue about trans rights? Yes and no. I'm watching cis people argue that trans people shouldn't have rights. And I'm watching this based-ass king drop his spirit bomb on these bitches.
It's a different experience that shouldn't make you feel less of a woman if they're around, or vice versa.
Do you all feel like the feminist movement should be fighting for trans women within that movement?
I'm waiting for all three of these women to be like, nah, the trans women should just make their own movement. I'm waiting for them to just throw trans women under the bus.
Should be fighting for trans women within that movement?
I mean, it should be fighting for everyone's genders, whether...
Yeah, the feminist movement... Chat, here, the secret that Leon is about to drop on you is that feminists fight for every gender. Feminists also fight for men's rights. Feminists also fight on behalf of men.
There are trans women, trans men, cis women, cis men, or non-binary people. That's just part of feminism.
I don't think so. I think it defeats the entire movement.
Yeah, you coward ass bitch. You cowardly ass bitch. She's like, no, I get that. That makes sense to me. Yeah, gender dysphoria, 100%. But also, fuck them trans people.
Every feminist should be pro-choice. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh God, I can't. Let me guess the argument on this one. The argument is going to be, being a feminist means fighting for all women, including the unborn women. Okay, that's the stupidest argument I can think of. So that's what it's going to be.
Oh.
I consider myself to be a pro-life feminist, and I think that
I bet you do.
That we can tell women that they can't identify as feminists unless they say that they're pro-choice.
You can't tell me if I can or can't identify as a feminist. I'll identify as whatever I want to ideologically, regardless if it hurts women.
Goes totally against everything that feminism stands for.
I agree with that, and I think there's actually something that's beautiful about womanhood and women in general.
Oh my God, this spread. I mean, Leon is absolute king on this panel. These two men, they're cowardly garbage, okay? Cowardly cis garbage, all right? Leon out here, okay? Leon out here like Piccolo. Having to fight Vegeta and the bald one, okay, by himself, all right?
And something that kind of shows ways that modern feminism has kind of been a little exclusionary, because women come from all different backgrounds and thought processes, and I think we should support the freedom of choice, the freedom of speech, regardless of the lifestyle that woman wants.
Look, that the woman might hate all other women, but I think we should support her in the name of feminism.
To choose.
If you personally feel you're pro-life, that's fine. Feminism as a movement should be pro-choice to allow anyone to choose whatever path they want to have, whether they want to have children or not have children or have abortions or whatever. But if feminism is pro-life, then you've blocked one group of people from choosing whether they want to have abortions or their own family planning.
One of the pushbacks that I would just love to give is I believe that abortion is wildly discriminatory against women and against people with disabilities. Baby girls are aborted at a higher rate, which is so sexist. And so I truly don't think that you can be a...
Maybe the solution to that is valuing women more in society and not preventing women from getting abortions?
feminist who is pro-choice, because these are discriminatory practices.
So I am pro-choice. I feel like somebody should have whatever type of choice that they want to make. They should have an equal say as far as, hey, this is my body, I want to be able to have an abortion, or just as equally, I want to say, I'm going to have this baby. So, and I do believe it's 100% up to the woman. A feminist should probably be more aligned with giving someone their own choice.
Menstrual products should be free.
Absolutely.
3, 2, 1.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. They're voting no?
Just being able to provide, for example, on the low income school.
What the fuck are they feminist on? I was joking at the beginning of this about how like the woman in Scrubs was like only pro like women being able to vote, but like she's literally only pro being able, like women being able to vote and also like not be like sexually harassed in the workplace blatantly. She'd probably be okay with low-key sexual harassment. I'm guessing that if somebody in her workplace came forward with allegations of sexual harassment, she'd be like, what were you wearing? You know?
A lot of girls that cannot afford them, you know, and they're ashamed to ask for it.
I mean, I personally believe that anything that you didn't, I guess, ask for, like menstrual cycles, or even, I mean, if you get into healthcare, I think that should all be added on.
I believe that everyone should be compensated for their labor, and I believe that creating and producing menstrual products, it's a service, and that people should get.
Yeah. No one's fucking saying that they would just be given out for free. Obviously, someone would pay the manufacturers. It's just that they would be distributed for free. God damn it. God damn it. What? I know one of you said that like she's like a plant from like Charlie Kirk's, you know, zombie line of Barbies. But like, holy shit. Like, just look at the shit-eating grin on her face as she says that too. Like, I just think that like, you know, people should be compensated for their labor. Okay, bitch. What about the labor of fucking creating life? What about that labor? You know, the labor that your body does involuntarily to create life? What about that labor? Should that labor be compensated? Fuck off.
And producing menstrual products, it's a service, and that people should get paid.
Well, nobody's saying that they won't get paid because, like you said, you were born a woman.
God.
You didn't ask to have periods, so now you have to go out and pay taxes on, you know, you have to pay more taxes than I do because I don't have to buy tampons or whatever, yeah.
Is this like a pandemic of women like bleeding through their clothes or something? Because I've worked with low-income families. This is never an issue I've ever heard other than on social media.
You know what would help those low-income families, bitch? Not having to pay for menstrual products. You know what would help? People who have tight monetary constraints, not having to pay for a thing that is mandatory for them to pay for otherwise. Holy shit.
Are there instances, or may there be segments?
Like, sorry, the idea that the only circumstance under which you would want people to have free menstrual products is if you had a pandemic of people bleeding through their pants is insane.
People's lives where they need like things, or they need help, or they need the community to get behind them.
Yes, that's why we should make them free. at point of service.
Absolutely. But I don't think it's this huge crisis that everybody is making it out to be. I just have not seen it.
Every woman should be a feminist. 3, 2, 1, go.
Once again, I feel like that kind of...
Hey, chat, just real quick. How much do you think the average woman spends on menstrual products over the course of their life? How much? Just as a guesstimate. Throw out some guesses, chat. $15,000? Millions? Yo, I guess if you're spending a lot. 100,000. God damn. A lot of you haven't bought period products and it shows. Chat, it's around $6,360 on average, okay? Now, granted, this is from last year, so I guess add a 7% inflation increase to that. That's it. So, chat, which would you rather have? Would you rather have $6,360 in your pocket or have to pay that in $13 increments once every month? Yeah, that's on average over a lifetime. So I'm sure some women spend less, some women spend more. So, you know, that it could be up to 10K. There are some women who menstruate twice a month, you know? So, like, yeah, I don't know. Seems like I would think a lot of lower income people would opt for the $13.25 per month that they would otherwise be spending on menstrual products. You know, $13 can buy you a lot of ramen. That's all I'm saying, okay? $13, that can buy you like 10 packs of ramen, okay? That's a lot for people who are on very little.
Everything that feminism stands for by saying that a woman has to...
Yeah, people saying that women should be feminists, like they're the real anti-feminists. That's what I'm saying. Fuck off.
To think a certain way.
You hate her smile because has a shit-eating grin on her face the entire time because she knows what she's saying is absolute dog shit.
Every woman should be a feminist instead of every woman has to be a feminist. That's kind of why I went to the strongly agree.
Well, have you considered, though, Jonathan, that saying that every woman should be a feminist means that you would be maybe committing yourself to critiquing women. And as we've learned throughout this panel, criticizing women for anything is anti-feminist, okay? Get out of here, Jonathan. You're being an anti-feminist right now. You're being against women.
Agree. Yes, you should be a feminist. If
you think, oh, gross. You think women deserve rights? Disgusting. That's real anti-feminist behavior of you.
A woman, because you should want equal rights.
Going back, I think people have really misinterpreted it.
Also, nothing wrong with an individual choosing to be a trad wife. That individual, though, then going on to say every woman should be a trad wife, that's really anti-feminist.
The word feminism, you know, but most women should be feminist, but they are. I think to me they are. I don't know any woman that it's not a feminist. They don't call themselves a...
You don't know any woman who's not a feminist. Maybe it's not a useful label, and maybe you're not using it in the right way.
Because of the extreme feminism. Like, for example, I like to serve my husband. You know, that's something I like. That doesn't make me not a feminist. That's who I am. He likes...
Yeah, but do you think every woman should serve her husband?
To do other things, like change my tires. I will never do that. That doesn't mean I'm not a feminist, you know?
And that is officially a wrap, you guys.
Oh, wow.
Okay, if Leon is a real Chad right now, he's not going to shake hands with any of them, okay?
I can't put it.
High fives. All right. right, here you go. High five over
Yeah,
there.
Awesome.
I'll give you a hug.
High five over there.
That is so good.
Good job.
High five.
Yeah,
Ooh,
awesome.
high fives all around. All right.
Fuck yeah, Leon. Leon just denied the high five. I'm loving it. I am loving it. Can we? We can't get rid of the.
Right on. Look at.
Yeah. What a fucking chat. Leon just fucking chatting his way through that thing. I would have been so fucking mad. I would have been so fucking mad.